Hello, everyone. Good morning, grand rising. Anybody there?
Yeah, grand rising.
I see James, I see Judith, I see Brainy. You guys are already in. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out this place. It's so bright that it makes me look like a silhouette sometimes. That's slightly better.
Okay.
How are you guys doing?
Good. Good.
I see you, Brainy. Dungi, are you there? James, Judith, what's up?
I'm good. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it's afternoon.
Is it afternoon your time, Judith?
No, it's morning.
It's morning, yes. And James, I saw you on mute.
Afternoon.
Good
afternoon. Lunchtime.
Yes, Dungi, I see you there. Victor has joined us.
Yeah, hi.
Yes. All right, guys, let's get going. Most of what I'm sharing you this week is primarily from work that I am doing on myself right now. And some of the reflections that keep occurring to me rather than regurgitating to you material that I've used with when doing other trainings before. So I am very, very excited about what we are covering. And I'm specifically excited about what we will cover today. I think that this week probably has pushed us closest to being ready to actually develop a personal development plan that you can call your own. You can say that for sure, I did not copy this from somewhere, that these are probably the most aligned goals I have set for myself, just because we have taken some time to do some groundwork. You know, essentially everything we don't have to wait for next year to start working on the goals that we want to pursue. Is the sound okay for you guys?
What?
The sound, is the sound okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Just confirming.
All right.
My computer was flickering. I didn't know if something was changing. So yesterday we covered a lot of ground yesterday, and I would strongly encourage you to very deliberately identify what are the ways in which you probably have outgrown the environment you're in. Maybe you have outgrown the mindset you are approaching your goals with. Maybe you've even outgrown some of your goals. The question is, in which ways? And unless you are deliberate about it, you can't discover. And this is not something that anybody can do for somebody else. No one can do this for me. I have to do it for myself. We kept coming back to the question of identity. So I wanted us to add another layer to identity. So you could call today identity advantage or the identity mindset. We're just adding an extra layer to identity. Brainy, I see your notebook. I am sure there are so many gems in there.
That's true. That's
attend the class you've attended, because you know we are all here, but each of us is attending a slightly different class, because not everything that we hear in class resonates with us. And I would especially want to read those stick-ons, the post-ons that you keep adding there. So today we are speaking about identity, the identity advantage, the identity mindset. And we've said in previous sessions that we have to be very careful about anything to which we attach an I am. Everything that carries an I am begins to become part of your identity. And the I am can be your age. It can be your job group right now. Your I am can be your apartment. I am a resident in this apartment. Your I am can be the street you live on. Your I am can be tied to your worst relationship. I am a former boyfriend, or former girlfriend, or former wife, or a former boss, or a former employee. It can be related to some of the relationships you have had. I am a former backbencher. That is probably one of the most hurtful thing, because it doesn't matter how good a school is, more than 60% of the people in that school end up considering themselves a backbencher. And then they carry that identity with themselves. I am, I am, I am. There is no more anything you, God himself referred to himself is that I am that I am, which means that his identity, God's identity, we understand he expressed himself to us as I am. Anything that you attach the label I am to begins to become part of your identity. And I want us to tackle just two specific areas. But first of all, I think one of the ways we can discover how we have boxed ourselves and straitjacketed our identity is to look at what blocks we face when we want to move onto a new area. Let's imagine, all of you guys right now, let's imagine I have received an offer to nominate 2 speakers. The speakers will go to Botswana next week to speak to a group of 500 executives, and each of these 2 speakers will speak for 30 minutes before these executives. And you have to speak to them about business strategies for surviving the coronavirus period. And those 2 speakers is someone else and you. But you are the first speaker and you will speak for the first 30 minutes. And I want you to allow this to run through your mind as an exercise. So I have sent the other letter to the other speaker who will be speaking in the afternoon. You will be speaking in the morning, 10 a.m. after they've just had their breakfast. They all show up escorted in their limousines and security detail, and they show up and they get into the conference. And then you hear the master of ceremony saying, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our speaker who will speak to us about how to survive the coronavirus period. Please put your hands together for Victor Hongo, Munto Ondimu. And then there you are. You are behind the curtain. And you can hear them clapping. The time to step onto the stage for the next 30 minutes. Wow them with your presentation. You know, the mind doesn't know the difference between something you are experiencing and something you're imagining, right? So I want you to, if you allowed yourself to picture the scenario, what came to your mind? I want you to write down 3 or 4 things that came to your mind. And those could be things you thought, things you felt, things you were afraid of. Did your heart rate rise just a few notches higher and your breath becomes slightly quicker or shallower or more uncomfortable? Because this is the reality, that here we are imagining a potential scenario. And yet our physiology has the capacity, our mind has the capacity, our body has the capacity to reproduce our reactions. To an extent, it can give us an idea how we are likely to respond. And you can imagine if that meeting is a month from now, it means every day when you are trying to think about, oh, so this topic, how will I start it? Or how will I arrive? How do I travel? You will be faced with a lot of anxiety all the way. And the question is, this is the surface. Question is why? Could I hear some of you in terms of your experiences? We may not be able to listen to everyone, but please go ahead, especially the people I mentioned, Kemunto and Victor.
Okay, hi.
Yes, Kemunto.
For me, first of all, I don't think I would be in Botswana.
You want to go to Botswana to speak to the executives?
No, like my heart skipped a beat. Like I was so anxious just thinking about it. And if I could add something, like
Yes.
this past COVID, during this whole lockdown thing, I've
Yeah.
been approached several times to speak in places, and I've always turned them down. So when you put that scenario, I was like, what again? Okay, yeah. So so I still need to work on that because
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, like I feel like I won't like executives. What? How? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know what you are saying because the first time I faced a group of about 100 executives from the banks around Nairobi. And you are sitting there, you're seeing the likes of Oigara, the likes of James Mwangi, they're all seated around in the conference room. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Victor! Victor won't have any issue with this one.
Ah,
Just sit.
whoa. When you're talking about that, I felt a little bit nervous. Something, I don't know. I also felt some warmth. I was wondering, hey, what am I going to tell these guys? Uh, and but there, sometimes back it has happened. This time it wasn't someone planning for me to talk. They just mentioned to me, come and make a report on certain thing to do with sports. I don't know what. I was working. I didn't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going towards the mic. Um, at that moment, yes, I spoke. I just, as I was walking, I was thinking of 2 to 3 things what I'm going to say. When I reached there, I talked, and once I finished, I forgot what I was saying. But people were happy. I asked them, what did I say? What was I saying? Something like that. Um, such, you see, the thing is, most of the time, you don't know when you are ready, and that's why you feel nervous. You don't know if you know anything or not, and I don't think this will ever go. It's like when you organize your thoughts and they start flowing out. So but one lesson I've learned is that you really have to prepare for this. This impromptu speech is sometimes you can have a lock. I don't know, is it a lock or what?
Wow.
Your mind stops, and you might not know what to say,
Yeah.
and that can be embarrassing. But you somehow you're forced to say something. That's
Yeah.
when your mind races, your heart races, and you speak. So but through preparation, I think I can be up to that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, through preparation, all of us can be up to the challenge. But you can imagine before you're ready for the challenge, how distressed you are. Even just, remember, this is an imaginary scenario, but
Mm.
it fires a response as though it is real. You've said something powerful that I would like everybody to write down. Just write it as in the first person, that
Mm.
I do not know when I am ready, even if I am. I do not know. I do not always know when I am ready. And I wouldn't want us to leave it there as a negative. It sounds like a negative statement. We will reformat it within the next few minutes. You do, and that is if you tell yourself that when you're preparing, right? I do not know. If you acknowledge, like verbalize what is going on. I feel nervous right now because I am not sure what to tell them, right? What, subconsciously we are trying to say like, I will be okay. I will be okay. When perhaps the first place to start from is, I'm very nervous about this. I have never done this, which is the truth, right? Because what we end up saying is, I can't do this. I can't do this. You don't know. I don't know whether I can't do it or whether I can do it. What I know for sure is that I've never done it. So we take the I have never done it to become I cannot do it. That is the level of capability. But then we take it a little further, right? I am new to this. I am unable to do this. And it becomes part of our identity. And once it's part of our identity, then it becomes something that reproduces itself. When we were in high school, there was just a group of a few people who were known to speak extemporaneously in public. They would stand up and give speeches, and everybody else is like, oh, you want somebody to give vote of thanks? Everybody turns to those 2 or 3 people in the class, right? When I started doing public speaking, I can remember many occasions when I was called to speak and my body stood up and went to the front of the room, but my brain remained seated. I opened my mouth. And nothing came out for a while. And eventually we overcome that. Did anybody want to chip in anything else before we cover the piece related to that example we've done? Yes, Brenny.
I just wanted to say, sorry. I just wanted to say, like, always stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, that's the mantra. It is easier. It's like when I started doing this, it was easier for me to think about it like that. We will look at the mechanics, and I love it. Don't wait to get ready. Stay ready. All right, that's one. Continue.
Oh, so to me, it's like at first I'll feel nervous, but then I'll see that as an opportunity to share the knowledge that I have and empower people and also get to learn from them.
Yeah.
That's all.
I like it. Thank you. Charity Mwangi has joined us, and we know that for some reason, because of the settings, that could be anyone. Is that Hulda or Ivy?
Hulda.
It still shows you as Charity Mwangi. I don't know why it does that.
I probably need the Zoom ID and password so that I can log in directly.
Okay, I'll send that to you. I'll send that to you after we are done. So we were just going through some exercise, and we are now covering the insights that relate to the exercise that we have just done. All right. So let's look at what is the source of the doubts. And if you go out looking, for example, even on the internet, you'll see a ton. The ones I will give you are the ones that I found in myself when reflecting. What is the source of doubt whenever I have found doubt? The first source is ego. My ego. Feeling like every opportunity is an opportunity for my ego to be attacked. Thinking that my identity and my performance are the same thing. Thinking that my failure, which is capability or behavior, reflects my identity, which are not the same thing. And that's because that is how society works. We judge people, we presume people's identity to be people's behavior. One of the best examples is politicians. We think when we see them shouting on TV that that's who they are. It's not who they are. These people have families. These people have friends. These people have good times with the same groups that they're shouting against, right? So that it's that realization that my behavior is not always equivalent to my identity. Remember the 6 levels I had shown you. There is spiritual, then identity, then beliefs, then capability, and behavior is the 5th rung. So your behavior doesn't even reflect your capability. Are there times, this is a rhetorical question, but it's always good to ask it, are there times you have done less than you are capable of? Are there things that you can do, but you haven't done? So your behavior doesn't even reflect your capability. And remember, capability is the 4th layer. Behind capability, there is beliefs. Your behavior sometimes is contrary to your beliefs. You are Christian, but you have bribed here. And the 2nd layer is identity. So from identity to behavior, that is a very big gap. I am a Christian, but I have lied here. Or I am a professional, but I have made a mistake. That one mistake, that one error does not reflect your identity. How I could go out. I remember when I went out and gave one of my very best presentations to a group of staff from Safaricom. They had gone somewhere in Naivasha. I came and spoke to them, but I forgot to mention one thing as part of my story that I told them. Everyone was, they were giving me amazing feedback about the presentation. But when driving back to Nairobi, I couldn't stop thinking about, I did not mention this one detail in the story, right?
Yeah.
And now I start judging myself. I'm forgetful. I am always doing this. I start attaching an I am to a specific behavior, because behavior is influenced by environment. Would be influenced by your energy, by your mood, behavior is influenced by the resources with which you are working at the time you're working. You could have this identity that you are a man of integrity, but you haven't developed the resources you need to speak up for yourself, to set standards, to assert your authority, to say no to peer influence. It doesn't change your identity that you are a good person, or you are a committed person, or you are an honest person. Your behavior, if the behavior becomes a pattern, then it can start hindering your capability and changing your beliefs about yourself. Then eventually it can alter your identity. But it takes such a long time for that to happen. So the most common reason why I find myself holding back from taking risks is ego. I do not know to what extent that is true. Here are some of the ways to figure out whether the fear you are having is coming from ego. Number one, when you ask yourself the question, what if? What if I fail? It means your ego is on the line. What if they laugh at me? What if they don't like me? What if nobody shows up? Which is a fear that I had to deal with when I was organizing these meetings. What if I'm not as good as my competition? That is all my ego trying to show up. The second way is anything that has an I am too inexperienced. I'm too new. I am too insignificant. I am too different. I'm too strong. I'm too loud. I'm too quiet. That is your ego feeling, because I'm too quiet, therefore they will judge me or they will not like me. That is your ego coming in your way. Anytime you think, a third way is I am unqualified to or for. I am unqualified to or for. I will tell you that the first time I started sending proposals for sessions that I could train in businesses around Nairobi, I felt very unqualified. And yet, for some of the subjects I was speaking about, I probably had read more and done more practice speaking, especially in Toastmasters, than some of the people who were doing those topics. So for example, right now in Nairobi, there are maybe 3 or 4 speakers on emotional intelligence. But I was the first person to make it a specific topic that I was proposing to the companies to speak to. I started speaking to them, and when I immediately left the country, several people jumped onto that vacuum because companies were demanding for this kind of content. Yet I felt unqualified. I felt unqualified because I have never been a coach. I've never gone to psychology school. I am only a doctor. So I don't know anything about speaking. I've never been a business person. Because everything that is worthwhile and influential we are ever going to be, we have never been. Can you imagine if, for example, I was called to coach maybe a deputy governor or a governor or a permanent secretary in some government somewhere, right? What if I have to wait until I have become a governor and I know what it feels like to be a governor? Then I can coach this person. That would make me totally unqualified to coach any of you, because I have never been in your industry. I've never lived your life. Every time you find yourself thinking, I am unqualified for X, Y, Z, It is your ego that is speaking. The fourth way, who am I? Who am I? Who am I to win in this industry? Who am I to tackle this topic? And I'm sure subconsciously to all of you who were able to visualize the scenario I gave you, who am I to travel to Botswana? That first of all, don't even think about speaking. Who am I to get onto that plane and travel to Botswana on first class, paid for 100%? Who am I to be invited? And who am I to speak to these people? And if you think you can speak, who am I to speak to them about how to survive during coronavirus? I do not know about you, but this is a doubt that I have dealt with. The final way is people like me don't. People like me don't. People like me don't do public speaking. People like me, meaning people who are quiet like me, or people with my background, or people who are women like me, or who are men like me, or people my height, people my weight, people my skin color, don't XYZ. It's here is something to it's something for you to write and think about. The judgment is always internal and occurs before the performance, which means your judgment is always internal and it occurs before the performance, which means you reject yourself before you are rejected. You label yourself before you are labeled. You denounce yourself before you are denounced. You malign yourself before you are maligned. You discount yourself before you are discounted. You undervalue yourself before you are undervalued. In other words, sometimes the market doesn't get to even judge you because you undervalue yourself, you don't show up. And that's something I have done. There are opportunities I bailed out of because I undervalued myself and I discounted myself and I got myself off the list. It's a painful, it's such a painful thing later, and we will see why it becomes painful. Here is something else for you to think about, right? Judgment always uses past experiences, not current possibilities. Judgment always uses past experiences, not current possibilities. If you are using current possibilities, you would think, I can try, I can prepare, I can give it a shot. But when it is I can't, it's because you have already used past experiences to conclude I am not capable of X, Y, and Z. I have worked with a lot of people on public speaking, training on public speaking, and it's always hilarious to listen to the reasons that people give you why they're not willing to tackle a certain topic. So, for example, I remember this gentleman who he was starting to speak about sleep, the value and power of sleep as a way to help people become more energetic and more focused and more productive, right? And he says, people won't listen to me. And you know what his reason was? I'm a little overweight. So the question is, what is the relationship between these two? What is the relationship? It could even end up being the story that I became slightly overweight and I couldn't sleep well. And then when I started losing weight, I realized that I was sleeping better and my productivity soared through the roof. Or it could even be a totally different explanation. Some of your disadvantages are the sources of the stories which connect with the audience. Because everyone in the audience, listening to you in the audience, everyone in the audience has some limitations. And if I come here and my life is perfect and your life is perfect, we don't have a point of contact. a way for us to connect. Any time I have found, for example, I used to stutter so much, even during these sessions, you wouldn't realize the times when I started. Like that pause that just came before, that was not a normal pause, it's a stutter. But you wouldn't know because I have practiced to speak in such a way that when I stutter, I pause in such a way that somebody thinks, this guy he was actually thinking, he was just slowing down to think about the point, right? Instead of stuttering becoming something that has to stop me from pursuing what I want to do, it has become one of the tools that I use to be more conscious about how I speak. So now I'm going to give you some questions. I call these questions the doubt busters. I call these questions the doubt busters. And I would like you to take these questions. I have used these questions. I've collected these questions from various sources, and some of them I reformatted or created them in my own way so that I can use them. When you have, so for example, in the scenario I gave you, you are going to speak to a group of executives in Botswana, and you have 30 minutes to speak to them about strategies for your business to survive during this coronavirus. And then some thoughts occur to you. I hope you wrote down like 2 or 3 thoughts that occurred to you when I gave you the scenario. Okay, so here are the doubt busters, the questions you use to bust those doubts. Number 1, is this thought helpful to my journey and my new story? Is this thought helpful to my journey and to my new story? If it's not helpful, let it go. Reformat it. And we'll see some of the ways in which you can reformat that thought. Number 2, will this thought pattern lead me? Will this thought pattern lead me to my desired story? Is it helpful? Will it lead you to your desired story? Number 3, this is probably one of the most practical questions you will ever ask yourself. Is this thought or belief based on evidence? Is this thought based on evidence? For example, the scenario I gave you, what evidence is there that you won't be able to deliver a 30-minute presentation to these people? Because remember, one instance doesn't become evidence. One instance is an example that is vulnerable to bias. If you have 3, 4, 5 examples, so for example, you're thinking about venturing into a certain business. If there's one person you know who has failed, that's just one person. Then there is another person. Those are examples. It becomes evidence once you experience it or ascertain those facts. So is this thought based on evidence? If you think it's based on evidence, somebody failed, somebody failed, somebody failed, then you go ahead and find out why did they fail and see how it applies to your scenario. Let's look at the other questions, then we'll see what reflections we have on all these questions together. Next is this situation within my control? Is this situation within my control? The example I gave you is the ability to prepare the presentation within your control, the ability to travel within your control, it's the ability to stand on the stage within your control, is the ability to open your mouth and just say, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, within your control. And there are 2 ways to deal with things that are or aren't within my control. If it's within my control, then why am I worried? Why am I worried if it's within my control? If I try to think of the whole in one go, then I will get worried. But if I break it down and just start focusing with, for now, I'm going to research the ideas about how to survive. I'm going to start practicing. I'm going to find a coach. I'm going to find some friends to practice with, step by step. If it's within my control, why am I worried? The flip side is, if it's not within my control, then why am I worried? If it's not within my control, there's nothing I can do about it. I can let it go. If I truly know that for sure, I've been asked to speak to physicists about the kinematic properties of elastic materials used for tensile strength engineering on rockets, then I will be like, that's not within my reach at this time, at least. Let me let that pass. Let me start off by going to speak to students at Kanampio High School about how to set goals to pass their exams. Then someday maybe I'll come there. If it's not within my control, why do I need to worry about it? I'll let that go. And that's an idea that is covered in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, what Stephen Covey calls the circle of influence, what you have control over, and the circle of concern, things that you don't have control over, but which you can end up getting concerned. Like I can tell you right now, across the world, people are so concerned about politics, and yet they nothing they can do. Politics ends up dominating, intimate family time instead of discussing other things, distracting themselves, speaking about, oh, did you see that debate between Trump and Biden? Goodness. Did you see the debate between Kamala and Pence? That is way outside. It's important for us to be aware of what's going on, but to be concerned to the point of worry doesn't make sense. Question number 5. What judgment can I release about myself in this situation? What judgment can I release about myself in this situation? And I would like you to think about these questions, especially this question about, is this belief based on evidence, and what judgment can I release about myself? Because the scenario I gave you, the scenario you need to come and speak to these amazing executives, what you feel reveals you the judgments you have about yourself. Next question, what's the next right action? What's the next right action? What do I need to do next? What do I need to do? If for example, you've been given such an opportunity, if you start by standing on the stage in Botswana, you will fail. But if you start by doing what's within your power, buy a book about business strategy and read the introduction to business strategy, or watch some videos about business strategy, watch some teachings, listen to some audios, that's the next step. So that your brain starts to worry about what's at hand rather than where you need to go to the very end. And now let's look at, I will give you, let me give you seven identity mindset frames. 7 identity mindset frames that I would like you to personalize this as much as you can. The power lies in you personalizing them. 7 identity mindset frames. The frames through which I would like you, like this, what I'm about to give you, this is something that I would love for you to flesh it in as fully as you can and read it as often as you can during this challenge. What I'm about to give you changed my life. It is so good, I'm almost tempted not to give it to you. What I'm about to give you is extremely valuable, but the power lies in personalizing it to yourself and reading it over and over as often as you can. And I hope you are ready, so that from today, even if you didn't pick anything else, you walk away with this and use it as a tool. You use it as a tool, especially through the rest of this month until 31st August. The 7 mindset frames. The first mindset frame is, I am deserving. And I would like you to actually say, I'm hoping that you guys are in a place where you can say this to yourself. And the main aim is to say it and see what comes up, what you feel inside. I am deserving. I am deserving. And I would like you to complete this with at least 5 sentences that start with that frame. I am deserving. I am deserving of abundance. I am deserving of growth. I am deserving of respect. I am deserving of love. I am deserving of transformation. I am deserving of wonderful opportunities. I am deserving of freedom. I am deserving of abundance. This is so powerful that when it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it doesn't work because of emotional blocks. But when it works, it means you've applied the questions in terms of what judgment do you need to release from yourself. You have realized that your fear, your doubts arise from your ego. And that's what blocks. You're trying to protect yourself from a place that you need to go to just because you have never been there. Maybe you've never been in this place, in the place of feeling, waking up every morning and saying, I am deserving of respect today. I'm deserving of safety and security and comfort today. I'm deserving of growth. Not just saying it, but truly experiencing it with your whole self. I wish I had a stronger way to express it so that you know how deeply I believe in this and what an impact it had on my life. The second frame, this, and remember, this is attached to I am. This is about your mindset regarding your identity. The second one is I am ready. I am ready. I am ready to change. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to learn. I am ready to move on. I'm ready to let go. I'm ready to level up. I am ready to raise my standards. I am ready to change my story. That's my ultimate best. I am ready to change my story. I am ready. What these frames do is they push your mindset to the limit and prepare you to start viewing, accepting and engaging and anticipating experiences that expand your identity. The next identity frame is I am capable. I am capable. I am capable of learning whatever I need. I am capable of going wherever I need to go. I am capable of completing whatever I start. I am capable of completing the breakthrough challenge. I am capable of enjoying my life today. I am capable of recognizing opportunities that are aligned to my pathway. I am capable of raising my standards. I am capable of letting go. I am capable of saying no to what doesn't align with me and saying yes to what aligns with me. I am capable of optimizing the opportunities in my environment. I do not know what your capable is. If I showed you, I have a whole booklet in which I kept writing these things until it filled up. And oh, the transformation, the change that results from this. It's like drawing a line. You know, in rugby, they have a mantra in rugby. So for example, when you see them do the haka, that haka is part of, it's like a mind, it's like erecting a mindset. And they have a principle called crossing a line. So that when you are in the locker room, you can say, you can decide you're not going to play and you're out, right? But then you come to that alley in that corridor, and then you come to the field when you're coming to the field, once you cross that line, you are in business. And this is something that you probably need for yourself, something that I do with myself. And I do it almost like a ritual, right? I sit down when I'm beginning to work, and I usually work in spurts of 45 minutes, take like 5 to 10 minutes break, 45 minutes. When I sit down, I say back to work, back to work. And once I say back to work, a meeting has started that is not going to be interrupted by anything. I am capable of determining how I use my time. I am capable of concentrating. I'm capable of focusing intensely on what's in my hand. I'm capable of changing my perception. I'm capable of releasing my limitations. I'm capable of changing my beliefs. The fourth identity frame. I hope you're loving it as much as I'm loving it. This is the juice of the breakthrough challenge. Frame number 4, I am open. I am open. I am open to more. I am open to growth. I'm open to learning. I'm open to change. I'm open to growth. I am open to favor. I'm open to distinction. I am open. What are you open to? What are you open for? Are you open? When you say I'm open, does it feel like that? I'm open to forgive. I'm open to forgive and let go. I'm open to release all past trauma and past experiences. I'm open to heal. I'm open to surrender and trust. The next mindset frame is I am persistent. I am persistent. I am persistent in demanding what I deserve. I am persistent in pursuing my growth. I am persistent in upholding my standards. I'm persistent in expanding my identity. I am persistent in deepening my vision. I am persistent in discovering my purpose. I am persistent in becoming a better person. I'm persistent in multiplying my growth. Identity frame number 6. Identity frame number 6. And when I say this one, I would like you to say it to yourself and check what is it you feel when you say it. Identity frame number 6 is I am a role model. Did the images of your friends and the people who know you closely come to your mind? Those ones saying like, you, a role model, you? I am a role model. This is something so, it looks so innocuous and so simple, but trust me, this is one of the most powerful, simple but yet most powerful mindsets in terms of changing your life and changing how you view yourself. This one is the same as, it is similar to you learning with the intention to teach. When you learn with the intention to teach, you learn very differently than when you just learn for yourself. So when you start viewing yourself as a role model, you start conducting your life very differently, because you have to model the behaviors that you hope your modelees, if there's such a word, will copy from you. So who are you a role model to? I always tell people this, and I need you to listen to me. Like, even if you don't hear anything under this specific point, please, you hear this. The people you've been created to influence are not your peers. Those are not the people you've been created to influence. The people you've been created to influence are probably 10, 15 years younger than you. When they arrive and start benefiting from your role modelship and mentorship, just your age by itself will be a factor in influencing them. The question is, apart from your age, will you have something else? What else would you have to offer them apart from your age? The fact that you have age and you have experience, you will already be an authority. But do you have something else that is of value to them for you to add to them? So embrace this identity frame. I am a role model, and start seeing yourself as a role model. Start preparing, knowing that you are a role model. Sometimes you don't know who takes you as their role model. And the more deliberate you become about your identity, about your growth, about your goals, about your vision, the more influence you will end up asserting. Do not be intimidated by your peers and the people in your circle and your friends and your Facebook friends, and the people you will have the most impact on, you haven't met. When they meet you, your experience will set you apart, but what else will you have to offer them that is different? So you've been an accountant, or you've been a software engineer, but apart from that, what else do you have? Can they detect in your character that you have worked on freeing your identity, on deepening your creativity, on heightening your openness and receptivity, and enhance your capacity to think and create scenarios and take risks? Those are the things that will stand out. Here is something else that is so true that it is painful, that whether or not you want to be like your parents depends not on what they taught you, but how they lived their lives. Whether or not you want to be like your boss or the most successful person in your community depends not on what they teach, but how they live, in terms of what truly is their life like. And if you have African parents, unfortunately, they were brought up by insecure African parents who were brought up by insecure African parents, where African parents don't think that there is room for anything to be negotiated. African parents live in democratic countries, but they run aristocratic homes. They run dictatorships in their home states, but they want to vote in a democratic country. And it doesn't work like that. And that's why democracy will never work in most African countries. Democracy will only become democracy the day African homes become African democracy, micro democracies. Then they can build a bigger overall democracy. And that's your challenge. You as a person, you're raising a family, or you're getting ready to start raising a family. How different will your children, acknowledge you for, like, our father was amazing, he sacrificed for us, and he paid school fees for us? Or will it be like, our father was so different from everyone else? I learned the value of my identity, the value of my independence, and my integrity as a person from my father, because he allowed me to live by what I want, rather than you have to go to that university and your course will start on that date and we have already paid fees. This is a painful area that I don't want to extend into, because unfortunately too many people are hurt by loving parents. That's because the loving parents were hurt by loving parents who are hurt by another set of loving parents. And the cycle continues. The question is, will you or I stop the cycle? The final identity mindset. Final identity mindset is I am changing. I am changing. I'm changing my mindset. I'm changing my behavior. I am changing my beliefs. I am changing my standards. I'm changing my friends. I'm changing my circle. I'm changing my environment. At least by cleaning utensils immediately I've eaten and making my bed. And I was going to suggest today that for this weekend, everyone sort out your closet. I promise you by Monday, you will feel so much better. And here is one way to know that you've sorted out your closet. You will have given out at least some pieces of your clothes, given out or gotten rid of some pieces of your clothes and shoes. There are shoes you have you've never worn the whole year. There are clothes you have which you've never worn. Go into your closet and see whether you can shrink it a little. See whether you can shrink it. I shrank my closet in the last 4 months to the point where I look at it, I can see the whole of it. Yet previously there was part of that closet that is in the bags, and it's because everything we do physically, externally ends up impacting us. So this identity mindset, I am changing. There you have it. We have done a lot of work today on identity, and now I think it's the right place for us to reflect before I give you the final assignment for today for you to implement for the weekend. And we will start with whoever is ready to go first. At the count of 1, 2, 3, I will start calling names so that we don't end up spending so much time waiting. Let's start with Judith. Judith, you're not nearby. Kimuto?
It's a good thing I've already done today the weekend assignment, your closet today.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was quite an experience, and just made me realize that sometimes I have clothes which I was saving for the best, like waiting for an occasion and then no longer fit. We just made me really internalize this breakthrough challenge in terms of sometimes you always you want to grow personally. There are things you're looking forward to. There's a vision you have of yourself, but you always postpone doing those things. So I'm encouraged, and especially the sentence said, for that everything that is worthwhile or that you will ever be, we have never been. I find that very encouraging in that it's possible. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Kimuto. That's I like the succinctness of how you always reflect very succinctly but very poignantly. Victor, now that you're back from Botswana, what feedback do you have for us?
Okay, I'm back from Botswana. And one of the things you say that I really like is being a role model. That one really challenges you to become a better person. And I realize many people don't hear what you say, they do what you do.
Yep.
So the only way to inspire people is you become a role model in that area that you like, become successful. There's sometimes you can advise someone and tell you, look at your life. I know, I know. Sometimes people may have worth it advice
Yeah.
and words, but once they see your life, it will really impact them.
True.
So that is one thing that I really want to be a role model. So I will take up that challenge and become good at it. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Victor. Yes, sometimes if you've ever been marketed to by someone from who is marketing GNLD products, then you know what Victor is talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They'll tell you about how you can get this million, right? But yeah, all right. Dungi.
Uh, Today, what really stood out for me was the thought that you were not created to influence some of your peers, rather the people who are maybe 10 to 15 years younger than you said, because normally people have a certain picture of you.
Yeah.
So when you sell them the idea that maybe you're changing or something, they're like, we know this guy. Let's give him 40.
Yes.
He'll come around.
Yep.
It's just a phase. Yeah? And that is something that, yeah, that really stood out for me, apart from the doubt busters and also the 7 mindset frames.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am deserving of abundance, love, respect, transformation, freedom. Those are some great affirmations. And I think if you like break them down, because they're 7,
Yeah.
each one, uh, you say Monday I am deserving, Tuesday I'm ready,
Yeah.
Wednesday I'm capable, Thursday I'm open, Friday I'm persistent, and Saturday I am a role model, and Sunday I am changing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
be like a repeat
Absolutely.
each
Absolutely.
every week.
Pu-
Yeah,
Push persistent to, oh, persistent is on Saturday or Friday.
Friday.
Yes, that's a good time. It's yeah, that's a good time for it to be, because thank God it's Friday doesn't mean you stopped growing.
Yeah,
Thank you, Dungi. I like it, and I like that idea of,
yeah.
yeah, many ways that you can use this. Let's go with Elena.
Hi there.
Hi, Elena.
Yes. So what resounded with me today is particularly the doubt busters. I tend to disqualify myself before I'm actually disqualified.
Yeah,
So I find myself not taking as much chances that I should. Then you feel yourself living below your capabilities. The other thing that has resounded with me is this bit about becoming a role model. It really changes your mindset in terms of how you're intentional about learning, because
yeah,
once you're learning for yourself, there's a way that you can just rush through content, because once you've understood, you can move along. But
yeah,
if it gets to the point that you have to explain it to somebody else, there's a particular level of detail that is needed, and that has really struck a nerve with me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I love it. I love it. The two of you, at least two of you, have mentioned the role model frame. It's extremely powerful. Actually, everything, all these other frames, they feed into it. They feed into it, because if you're a role model and you're not ready, you're not changing, you're not persistent, it's then your role modelship is much narrower than it could be. Yeah, good to see you, Elena. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brainy.
Oh yeah, like just wanted to say like thank you because you always come in divine time, to share knowledge with us. And then about like the dot busters, I really need from hello.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Oh okay, all right. From scale 1 to 10, like yeah, there's some few points I need to work on that. And then about the identity mindset frame, which I'll see it as affirmations. That's something I do every morning before I wake up, because that's always a good way to reprogram my mind from the way how our society or families have always conditioned us to to be. So I'll see like by using those affirmations that you've shared with us, it really helps you, because everything like you have all those qualities embodied in you, and you always have to remind yourself like, yeah, this is who I am. know what my friends think, know who, like your parents told you you're supposed to be, or not who you think you should be,
Yeah.
but just be who you're supposed to be. So yeah, that's all I'll say.
Thank you, Brainy. You are in an amazing season, and grow as much as you can when you're in that season. It's not always easy to, to sometimes we find ourselves out of that season, sometimes we are in. So all of us, whichever season you are in, grow in season. Judith, are you back?
Yeah. So I think what I can start working on this week is the the 7 mindsets. And the one that stood out for me is I am deserving. I think if I can reflect back, there are some instances where I just give up opportunities because I don't feel like I can do it or I deserve to do it.
Yeah.
So I think I need those affirmations, and I think it's something that I'm gonna do it. Not even think I'm going to do it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, let me put it like that. So I'll be doing the affirmations, and I really want to change my mindset on that along that frame.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
I love it. Do it. Remember, your name has a D in it. So must do it. Yes, we haven't heard from Hulda and James. Hulda,
Hi, Job,
hi.
and hi, everyone. Yeah, it's so exciting, and I'm so grateful. I feel like I should have started this from the beginning because just listening to other people contribute, and I can resonate and relate to a lot of things. So for me, I think everything was, if I was reading a book, I would be like highlighting everything that you said today. The doubt busters, that for me has been like the biggest challenge, especially with the move um, to Australia. When I moved from Kenya, you're coming already with skills, with your profession, but it's so almost so hard to break into the in that work environment again because you feel like, oh, maybe I don't have
Sorry about that. I don't.
have local experience, or I haven't built myself, or you already have so much doubt in your mind that makes you feel like you're not deserving of some of the roles that you can actually pursue. So one of the things that I, 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 I'm going to kind of farm, moving forward from the mindset frame is I am deserving. I am deserving of those roles. I am deserving of every opportunity that God has given me in this country that I qualify for. I deserve. And I am ready. I'm ready to grow. I'm ready to change that mindset. I'm capable of delivering whatever it is I'm expected. Uh, and I'm open. I can go on and on. I think you're talking, and I was like, oh my goodness, like I was just if I muted my speaker, you would hear me just, kind of shout out these affirmations. That I am persistent. I am, you know, um, ready. I am a role model. There's so many people who are looking up to me, and just by me not living my best, I'm not giving them the best. It's something that God has created me for, and shooting myself I'm shooting myself down by not so I'm so excited, and I've put these down on my blackboard there on the wall. I was just writing, scribbling, as you say, to kind of just read every morning and remind myself that I am changing, I am persistent, I am deserving. And thank you so much for that. I would go on and on.
Absolutely. Oh, it's your
Yeah.
your passion is your passion excitement is so obvious, and that's exciting. That's why we are doing the breakthrough. This is the breakthrough challenge, that if by the end of December something hasn't shifted, please don't growing, don't even try any other program, because it won't work. This is the breakthrough challenge, and if we are doing the work, it's going to happen. And one of these days you'll be seated there, all of us at your own right time, you'll be seated there, and you'll actually know that there has been a significant shift. James, crown it for us.
Well, thank you. Guys, I am simply grateful for the trip we made to Botswana. Although I was I was quite fearful. My fear stemming from the fact that I thought, and to some extent knew, that it wasn't that I did not have the content, but I was afraid I'd tell jokes and nobody would laugh. That really scared me. And I am so excited about today's session. I'm not sure whether you can tell from my voice, but
Yeah.
if you could see my face, oh my God, it has just been a really good session for me. Really exciting. I had some internet issues along the way, so I am not sure whether people are mentioning that there's something about pastors. At times I'm hearing pastors, and then I'm hearing bastards. So I am
It's
not sure what happened there, but
they're doubt busters. I recorded the session and I will share the audio today, so no problem. I'll share
thank
it.
you, thank you. And it really feels that this whole program for me is not just, as I said on I think the very first day of attendance, it's not just a breakthrough challenge, it's a breakthrough experience, because every day something seems to be shifting. I seem to be moving forward, and with the consistency that I'm building, we seem to be making progress. And I just noted that from the the mindset frames, where for me progress appeared in every one of them. I am deserving of progress. I am ready to progress. I am capable of progressing. I am open to progress. I am persistent in making progress. And apart from the other two, it couldn't have made sense grammatically, but I'm sure if there was a way, it would still have been there. But I feel really good that you're making progress, and I am glad to know that the people we are meant to influence are way younger than we are right now. So I do not know. I think I'll go look for a 5-year-old and just share with them this excitement. But I am so glad to have attended today's session, and we're grateful. Thank you for getting late today. You're quite late. You are behind time. You're supposed to be ending at 1:30. According
Yeah.
to my time, it's 1:44.
Yeah.
But I think it was worth it.
Yeah, it's because if I, initially I was beginning to rush through the content, then I realized that what I prepared to share today is, if I rush through, it won't have the power it's meant to have. So I decided to slow down and just deliver the content and see. I hadn't even looked at the clock. I'm just seeing it's 1:45 your time. It's 5:45 my time. Yeah, so I'm very excited about what we are doing. And thank you for your reflections. Thank you for persistence. And now I'm just going to reiterate what I think should be your assignment through the weekend. Number one, write your personal qualities and aim at 50. I don't know how far you are. Write your positive personal qualities, aim at writing 50 of them, preferably writing 50 of them on a new piece or a new page. Don't pick from where you left. Start writing afresh. That is the aim, for you to be able to write them. Every time you write, you start from scratch and write them, because if you can reproduce them, it means your brain has to start processing them. Number two, the 10-day mental diet. I shared the PDF on the WhatsApp group. If you I don't you will start it when you feel ready, but bear it in mind. Number three, monitor yourself for the 4 C's. Monitor yourself closely for the 4 C's: complaining, comparing, competing, and criticizing, and see to what extent you can eliminate those. And then in addition to the qualities, challenge yourself to up on a blank piece of on a blank page, write down the mindsets, the identity frames, and see whether you can fill each of those areas with at least 7 items. I'm ready, I'm changing, I'm open. Fill each of them with on a blank without referring anywhere. Sit down and just reproduce them. Then of course, finally, see what you can let go from your closet. It is a physical action you are taking, but it has a spiritual impact. See what you can let go of, whether it's some books or especially I'm specifically looking at the bedroom area and the closet. Things like there's some bed sheets you've never used, some clothes you've never worn, some shoes, some socks that you don't even need anymore. See some of the items you can let go of. So proactively taking action. Continue doing the things that you need to do that are easy to do when they arise, like utensils and stuff like that. Keep doing those things. I will be here. Today's Friday, but I will be here Sunday. I will be here on Saturday. I'm here, especially this month. I'm here every day because it forces me to sit down and reflect. It takes me about 2 to 3 hours to reflect every day prior to coming here, so that I don't come to give you a lecture. I come to give you a reflection, something that I connect with, because my biggest aim is to grow through this challenge. And James, I struggled at the beginning whether this was going to be a breakthrough challenge or a breakthrough experience. And I had the two titles. So you don't be surprised if at some point now if the poster starts reading experience, because that is the aim. The aim is for us to experience a breakthrough by the end. Final thing to say, I am looking at having a 2 to 2.5 hour summit on 31st August. So by summit is this will be, it's like a pooling everything together to design a personal growth plan. And we will figure out whether we do it at the same timing on 31st, which I think it will be on a Saturday, whether we do it at the same time in the same timing, or we shift the timing, so that the point is to anticipate that we are going to be together for at least 2 hours. And on that day, we will design plans, like we will actually draw together like growth plans going forward. So this month we
Is
use
that,
this month for preparation.
sorry, Job, is
Yes.
that August
Yes.
or
October.
31st
October?
October. Oh, my mind is in August.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You say that repeatedly.
No, no. It's August is a very August month, and even this October is feeling August. It's feeling great, yeah. But yes, that was an error. It is October, end of this month.
I was thinking it was next year because you kept
No,
on saying August.
there is going to be a
Anyway.
breakthrough summit on 31st October 2020, the year that coronavirus shook the world. Yeah, that will be it. It's been absolutely exciting and amazing, and I am ready to go ahead. I have an interview today for one of the fellowships I want to go to after the training here. So from here, I'll be headed out to go get my tie around my neck and get ready for the Zoom interview. I wish you all
All the best.
an amazing the rest of the
Yeah,
day.
all the best.
Thank you, everyone. And
Mm.
yeah, let's keep growing. Please share your reflections in the WhatsApp group. That's it for today. Dr. Job Mogire from the House of Mastery. Keep growing and goodbye.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.